first M3 made available to South Africa is the E36, and Rowan has brought his one to show us today. Rowan, please give us a quick rundown of your beloved BMW.
Hi. So it's a E36 94 model, which was turbocharged. So it's not your standard E36 M3, although it looks very standard. Inside is a turbocharged E36 M3 engine, making about 300 kilowatts on low boost. So growing up, this was one of my dream cars. So when an opportunity came and I saw it, I worked a little bit harder towards it and achieved one of those dreams.
Out of everything on this car, what is your favorite thing about it?
The fact that there's no electronics to stop you from, well, I wouldn't say sliding out or enjoying the car.
Okay.
There's nothing holding you back. You have to be a real driver actually to enjoy this car.
Yeah, so my dad actually had a E36, but it was a 318.
Okay.
But this is, you've obviously spec'd it to your own standard, but I mean, you've got power seats here.
Yeah, it's got some nice.
Seated, yeah. So where driving is concerned, this is obviously very pure, very mechanical.
Yeah.
But one thing I have to bring up is, so everyone I know personally that has owned an E36 M3 has in some way, shape or form crashed it. What about this car makes it so lively on the rear axle, do you think?
It's no aid. So all the newer cars have a lot of aid.
Yeah.
So there's no traction control button to help you. So I would assume the guys didn't respect the car.
Yeah.
Firstly, well, with any car, you have to respect the power.
For sure. Yeah, so fantastic. Tell someone a story of, like, you know, you and your M3, what would the story be?
The day I probably raced a F80 M3 and I was in front. Well, the car was on high boost,
yeah,
so we were well in front.
Okay, so I've spent some time with that M4.
Yeah. No, the handling will be totally much
Yeah.
better than this. This is a lot more.
Well, if I'm honest, I can tell from the get-go, just driving it at this low speed.
It's more engaged.
Much more engaging.
Yeah.
The engine is so much more characterful.
Yeah.
The roar at least revs out really nicely. The steering is lighter than what I was expecting.
Yeah.
But that is actually quite a 90s car feel. They made the steerings really light during those ages. It feels good. You can definitely see there's a solid progression in how they've retained how these cars need to feel.
Yeah.
They understand the clientele very well. No, this is fantastic, man.
Nice.
Great.
For old car.
It's brilliant. Turns in nicely.
No, it's lovely. So what I did was I went 2 sizes bigger on the width of the tire.
Okay.
Which I do on all my cars. So generally it's 255 on the 46. I've got 275s on.
Okay.
Here we got 265s in the back.
So the M4 Competition, even though it's basically a successor, the polar opposites to your car. Hands in the steering at all times.
Yeah. Massive difference.
Power. So yeah, even though it's twin turbo, power delivery it's pretty much instant.
Yeah.
There's no lag. What's your first impressions?
Amazing.
I will tell you in the next 10 minutes about the flaws, if there is any, but to be honest, the more refined power is just so much more instant, and it's not as raw as being in an E36 turbo, and listening to all of those swirling noises and all of those pressure noises. Wow, that is nice. Wow.
So you see what I was saying about the steering. It's
Wow.
almost to the point where you like feel the human mind can't run at the pace that this car can run.
Yeah.
You know, before you know it, the next corner's there and you've got to brake. Your inputs have to be so quick. So I do think you still have to be a different kind of driver, but still a good driver.
Yeah.
To be on the limit on this car.
It's the sense of touch.
For many people, the E46 is the ultimate M3, and the one that we have here today is brought to us by Ridwan. Thanks for bringing it.
Okay.
So tell us, why exactly did you buy this one?
Basically, growing up, this was my childhood car and it was my passion. So that's why I ended up with the E46.
And out of everything on this car, what is your favorite thing about it?
The fact that after the box M3, that this is the only one that came in a two-door variant, and it came with the right fenders in the front, the back, and it's the perfect M3 for me.
See what you mean about the chainsaw. Yeah.
The chainsaw effect.
It sounds pretty cool.
It's unique.
Yeah.
It's that sound that when you're sitting on your living room table and you hear zzz,
Okay.
you know it's a 46.
So one thing you hear a lot of people complain about is the SMG transmission with this car. But you say there's a trick that you need to know when it comes to
100%.
using it.
Drive a SMG like it's a manual, and the car's perfectly. So I think the other controversial thing is if the SMG box does go, the pump goes, which is quite expensive.
Okay.
I think that's where everyone's fear is.
So I see it's also got the transmission
Correct.
aggression
Drive logic
thing.
sort of.
Yeah. But so in the new car, it's only 3 steps. This one's got, what's that? 6.
Six. So the last one is when you're on a launch. So it'll be a launch control.
Oh,
Launch
okay, I see.
control on this car is not like the newer generation. You actually hold the stick physically up, and then when you're on the launch, you drop it and it goes.
Okay. Yeah, so you know, everyone, especially when they're into performance cars, they always look for that next limit. You know, they want to get a car that's faster and faster. With the 46, do you feel like you're happy here? Do you feel like you don't want to move up? You could live with this car for the rest of your life, or is there another step that you want to get to?
So to be honest, I actually stepped down.
Oh, really?
So I had the F80.
Okay.
The F80 is fast, you can't compare the two cars, but when it comes to sheer driving pleasure on the road, the 46 is next level. When you're taking the corner in the whole feel of the car, the drive of the car it's phenomenal. The driver feedback on the car is phenomenal. Do you want to swap?
Yeah, we can do this. Okay.
So that's in sports mode, the throttle's just more aggressive.
Just nicely too.
It's responsive. For an old car, I mean, this is a 03.
Yeah.
First, you can't compare to those cars.
So like with the 36 that I drove just now, the steering is lighter than modern cars.
It is.
But the feedback is still really good.
Yeah.
You don't have to put a lot of input in.
And to take into account that it's only 252 and the torque's quite low. The torque's about 380.
But overall mass, this thing is sitting probably about 1.4
Yeah.
tons. So it's decent
Power to weight.
power to weight. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
You see the ship lights here, right? So that again is unique to SMG.
Okay. to have a steering this light. I think like this. So far the highlight I thought it would be the engine, but the steering system is it's
nice.
brilliant. Yeah, it's fine.
I think you're enjoying it.
Okay, so naturally aspirated to twin turbo.
That, yes.
Is that proper?
Yeah, that's sounds fantastic. Is it?
No, the sound's all synthetic.
What is it?
Yeah.
That acceleration.
No chainsaw. This what power tool would this be? A grinder? Sand grinder?
No.
So the responsiveness of the engine compared to yours, how would you?
Yeah, it's uncomparable. It's uncomparable. But this is a bold car.
It is bold. Yeah. What do you think about the design?
So, I'm the chairman of BMW Car Club, and we actually embraced that front, and we put it as our logo.
Okay.
So it's our official car club logo, hence the G80 front.
Okay. The thing is, the designers weren't looking to make an attractive car.
No.
They wanted to make a car that has a lot of presence. And there's
Statement.
no denying that it has that. And the fact that people are debating it so much means that they've actually
They've
already
achieved
achieved
it.
their goal.
Yeah.
You know?
They've achieved their
And
goal.
they don't really, like people are saying, oh, it's ugly, look at that front. They don't care. They, you know, it's money in the bank. People are going to buy the car because it performs.
100%.
So overall, you think this is a good step up?
Yeah, definitely. The only problem, you don't realize the speed you're doing. Honestly.
I think for some people that's not going to be a problem. With the E92, BMW took things to the next level by adding 2 extra cylinders to the engine. It is the first and last V8 powered M3, and bringing it here today is someone who really needs no introduction in South Africa, a legend on the racetrack, Mr. Dennis Joubert. Thank you for coming outside today. So tell us, why exactly did you opt for the E92?
Because it's the last V8.
And I'm guessing that's obviously your favorite thing about it.
Yes.
So with someone who has a strong background in racing, does this translate into a car that is very track focused?
Yes, I suppose it does. It's, you know, the suspension is hard. It's got run flat tyres, which are also hard. So it's not actually a soft rider.
Okay. Straightforward. Dion, since you're BMW expert, run me through what the E92 is, because I have no idea.
Yeah, so when I was driving for BMW, we had the E30 355S's, and I mean, we obviously saw the M3s, and I drove a German touring car M3 in 1990. So that was a very special car to have driven, and our what we call shadow lines weren't really M3s, although they kind of were. And then when the first M3 came out, the E36 M3, it was such a jump forward in terms of speed and that over the. It was really amazing. It was an amazing car. And I was slightly disappointed by the one that followed that, and then this car with the V8. I thought it was really special, you know. Although they'd moved away from the inline 6, which was kind of synonymous with BMW. This car was really special, and I remember doing a 23.5 with the Frozen for the car magazine thing. It was really fast. And my father bought it from a friend of my brother-in-law, in fact. It was standing. He had quite a few cars, and so it hadn't done much mileage. I think this is quite an iconic one to have. And it's, you know, it's a more modern car, gearbox and all that stuff. So it sits between them. So it's quite cool. You know, I'm a bit conflicted about the new one, although I really love new cars. I always think new cars are better. That thing's big. You know, it's almost like an M5, not an M3 in sort of its.
And a lot of people are asking, like, is that an M5 replacement in a way?
Yes, yes.
In the same way that like the M2 became the M3.
To me, the car I drove last year at the shootout, that M2
Club Sport,
was the pinnacle of like M3dom of M.
Really?
You know? So the thing is, M for me stands for lightness and steering and handling, and not necessarily outright speed. You know what I mean?
It's all about dynamics.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah, I mean, now that I drive it, I feel the gearbox isn't as, like the later one was a bit better, I suppose, but I mean, this is a fast car.
Yeah. And a very consistent delivery of power.
Yes,
throughout the
that's
day.
what I mean. It's very linear, very predictable. The later ones, they had this sort of sudden
Boost or kicking.
yeah. But the other thing is, as you come into corner and you start picking up the throttle, this car will just give you as much as the throttle is. But with the turbo cars, they start spooling up the turbo, and then you're getting more power than you expected. Because I start picking up the throttle to go to the exit, and then the engine gives you, say, 10 kilowatts more than you thought you were going to get, sort of, you know. But you only obviously learn that or start dealing with it. But
Yeah, as an owner, it's something you would adapt to.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
in what we do,
exactly. Yeah.
It's
But I
kind
really
of-
like this car.
with this generation of the M3, the F80 and F82, this is the first time that BMW separated the M3 and M4 badge for the body styles. It's also the first time that turbocharging was introduced to the engine. Lucky, you brought this here to show us today. Thank you for that.
Pleasure.
What exactly have you done to this M3?
As, according to the Cape Town standards, they call this a stage 2 modification. I've done software and I've done front mount intakes, and I got the car with the road performance downpipes. And that's basically all I've done to the vehicle. Besides now the aesthetics looks on the vehicle, with all the carbon fiber bits that BMW actually gives you the options of the vehicle. So I love carbon fiber, and I just decided to buy every conceivable accessory available for the vehicle and attach it to the car. Yeah.
So the F80 in particular, what was your reason for buying this generation?
I've come in from a far line of M3s. I've always been a BMW fan. I've owned the E36, actually the 325i's I've owned back in the day. Then I moved over to the E36, then it was the E46, and then I wanted to actually then my business grew and I needed cash, so I sold all those things. Then I had a family, so I couldn't really actually go for a performance vehicle. And after 12 years I decided, wait a minute, it's time now. My kids are old, they don't want to drive with me anymore, and it's time for a new vehicle. So the wife and I decided, let's go for a BMW again. And with my character, I don't like the basic run-of-the-mill BMWs. I always extend myself to go for the higher option vehicles, which is now the F80 M3.
What is your favorite thing about this car?
The favorite thing about this car, I would say, in looks wise, is the backside of the vehicle. It was a wide car, and I always loved 4 doors, and that was always attracted me to this particular model. I wanted the E90 M3 because another reason, because I love the 4 doors, but I just couldn't find the right one. And then when I looked at the F80, it was an option that I couldn't look up, and I thought to myself, let's skip the E90 and let's go straight for the F80, which is now the turbocharged vehicle.
So you've owned a couple of M3s.
Yeah, like as I said in another interview, I had the IS and E36, E46. I've skipped that generation, but now I'm actually working towards buying me one of those just to keep one in my garage for old time's sake. It's such a beautiful car, and I mean, if you think of it, BMW is not going to make a V8 M3 anytime soon.
It's the only one, yeah.
So that's the only version of it.
So with the F80 in particular, where do you rank it?
Yeah, okay, I look at cars in 2 ways. The drivability and cost efficient wise. This car is, at the moment, is very cost efficient, because if things break you, there is so many aftermarket parts available that you can buy for the vehicle.
Okay.
I mean, if you think of the brake pads, you can actually go to Midas and buy the same type of pad that BMW uses at half the costing.
Okay.
The car is phenomenal, honestly. I love the way the car drives. I love the way the car handles. This MDM version of the DSC, the anti-skid control, is so beautiful. It gives you and doesn't give you. And it's almost impossible to lose control of the car if you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's been 12 years since I've driven a performance vehicle. I've driven now a VW Up, and I got a Hyundai Tucson. Those cars are family cars. And when I jumped in this car, it took me approximately 3 weeks, almost a month, before I actually gave it a lot of runs around the corners and driving fast with the car.
Yeah.
I was very, very wary because I've seen how this car was unrelentless in corners and people just lost control of the car.
Do you think, I mean, look, for emissions and stuff like that, they had to turbocharge the car.
Yeah.
Do you think that was for the best? Do you think it worked out? Or do you think the M3 would still be a better car as a naturally aspirated?
If you think of where we are going as far as motoring is concerned, everybody's going the turbocharged route. BMW has always been naturally aspirated, and I'm actually was disappointed when they said this one is coming out. It's twin turbos, but it seemed like the 335i engine, similar to the 335i engine. So I thought, okay, fine, it is a good car, turbochargers, this and that. But if you think of what can break on the vehicle, the list is long. We think what can break on the naturally aspirated engine, the list is short. And those are always the things I actually look at, and I always want to be one up on those type of things. I want to drive a car for 7 years, but since owning the F80, it's not the case. This car is actually very, very awesome. There's minimal things that can go wrong with the vehicle if you look after it properly. As is with any car, if you don't look after it, it's going to break.
So the F80 is an S55, this is S58. Same engine, some parts
Little bit of
change
tweaks, yeah,
here and
yeah.
there. Yeah, biggest difference is this uses a torque converter.
Yeah.
Yours uses a dual clutch. The reason for that is I think BMW found that their torque converters, they were able to push more power out
Okay.
torque converter than they could with the dual clutch.
Okay.
So with the M5, it was the F30 I think,
Yeah.
they had reached the power limit for that car. They couldn't go any further with the dual clutch.
Correct.
So they had to go torque converter, and then they also said that they were getting better performance because the technology had advanced.
Yeah.
The first impressions?
Stunning. First impression is stunning. Very talky. Even if I just put my foot slightly down, she's very responsive. Steering is nice, precise, directive.
Do you think it's a good step forward over the
Oh yes.
F80?
Oh, definitely. They had to do something better than what we've got already now. And already now is it's excellent. The MDM is totally different compared to my one.
In what way?
I'm spinning a little bit.
You're getting split on this?
No, I'm getting spin on my car.
Oh, okay.
This car there's no spin. The steering wheel becomes harder. Yeah, the purple is beautiful. That's awesome. Seriously, that is awesome.
So you approve?
I approve. 100%.